enterprises are the heartbeat of Malaysia's economy, but the rhythm is changing. As global trends collide with local realities, SMEs face new challenges: slower digital growth, rising costs, and the pressure to adopt sustainable practices. With Budget 2026 on the horizon and technologies like AI and digital currencies gaining ground, the question isn't just how SMEs survive, but how they evolve. This is Money Matters. Hello and good evening. You're tuned into TV3, where you can also stream on Tonton. I'm Muhammad Ahmad Hamdan, and today we'll dive into the big issues shaping Malaysia's SMEs, from tax reforms and cash flow challenges to digital currencies and AI. Joining us today is President of SME Association of Malaysia, Dr. Chin Chi Siong. Hi there, Doctor. Thank you so much for taking the time to be with us here on Money Matters.
Thank you, Muhammad. Thank you.
Great. Now, with the tabling of the 2026 budget just around the corner, what are some of the policy changes that SMEs particularly are looking forward to?
In fact, we are very much hoping for, especially the MOF and the government, to come out with probably a very, very important, I will say important, budget, because that we are facing a lot of issues currently. Basically, from the SME industry, we do hope there are three big items that we want to ask for. Right. Number one is we are facing a lot of distress, a lot of issue that causing our cash flow problem. Especially, hopefully, the budget can relieve some of the burden of the extended SST that will be announced. Also implement quite fast, right? Where a lot of SMEs are caught due to cash flow issue.
And how do you hope that is done?
Of course, to review, especially on the rental SST and the leasing, which is charging about 8%, which is very high. We have members who is complaining. Basically, they have to fork out at least 30 to 50,000, some of them, per month, just to pay the 8%. And this is upfront payment. So if you drag 2-3 months and you do not have collection back what you have paid up for, then you will face a lot of issues. So currently, many of them are facing this. So I hope that will be the first thing government could look into. And the other one is e-invoicing. The digitization, right? We are talking about implementation e-invoicing for the whole SMEs industry very soon. And some are implemented. So it is where we hope.
Some are implemented, depending on the size of the SMEs.
So it is very important at the moment that for those had yet to implement, work out some incentive for them. Encourage them to look into it, because it's not just that you get a system and put yourself into e-invoicing. No, there are other things like, are your staff ready? Is your operational ready to do that? And many of them are stuck. You know, lately I've also been moving around the nation, and there's many small size as a micro, almost telling us that we are going to close our business because of, you know, I'm almost like 50 plus. You know, I think better I don't do business rather than I go through all the process, because to them, you know, especially the rural area, they don't know how to handle, and they rely on third party like consultant or provider, but they'll come in and charge them. You know, arm and leg, right? So the other one is back to the earlier mention of the cash flow issue, the cost by all these external, digital costing is one thing, but the fact that we are paying extra for SST, transportation, because transportation price went up because of SST, so cost of doing business increased. That happened to be causing all the SME are facing cash flow problem. I won't say all, but many of them are facing cash flow problem. So, and they have also already engaged themselves into many financial loans and facilities. So for them to take a new facility will be very difficult. So we hope that, you know, government probably through statutory bank or through any agency can provide a short-term, flexible cash flow kind of relief kind of loan given to the SMEs, particularly for those are able to repay. Of course, it cannot be using the standard method that banks are assessing them, because banks, they are very stringent. Hopefully, they can be more relaxed in terms of getting the loan approval for them, for the short term, for them to get over this, extended cost of SST that forcing them to go into this situation.
Now, I want to explore further into the cash flow aspect, but I'm going to save that a little bit for later, because right now I want to talk about the tax structure affecting SME operations in Malaysia.
Right.
Do you think the current tax regime, including corporate tax rates and also SST expansion, as you mentioned earlier, aligns with the realities SMEs face in the post-pandemic recovery, particularly?
If you look at our tax system, there's not much incentive for the SMEs. Because there's, of course, there's two categories. Once you achieve certain amount, you pay 17%. After that, you pay 24%. Yeah. So you don't really give them a special treatment in terms of getting them to growth. SME, basically, they don't make so much profit. Their cash flow is always tight because they are growing their business. And they have to, repay bank loan and then pay extra costs of doing business and all sort of things that are coming out, by the policy. For instance, the electricity bill, the rationalization of the petrol, and now coming up petrol and also the diesel. All those eat into their cost of doing business. So what can they do to expand? They are not able to. So if we have a good tempers tax system, whereby it's flexible, probably lower down the budget for 100 and for let's say below 350,000 or whatever amount that you think is appropriate, get them a lower tax so that they can more reserve to invest into more business. SMEs are growing. They won't stay there. But they cannot grow because there's not enough cash, not enough financing that available for them, because by the fact that they are not really ready, to venture into additional expansion. They are worried. You don't know what happened tomorrow. You see, like, there are a lot of policies suddenly abruptly come out, especially on the SST,
right?
Extended SST. Why suddenly that is a huge cost going to face by them.
Yeah. Very quickly, you mentioned lower tax for the SMEs. What's the comfortable rate for SME, in your opinion?
I think 15% across the board will be good enough.
Okay.
In Singapore, they are charging almost the same amount.
Okay.
Right? So why can't we do it for the SMEs? Right?
And Bank Negara is set to be exploring digital ringgit. How should SMEs prepare for a future of central bank digital currencies?
I think for those SMEs in the major city, they do not have much issue. I think it's a good move. Okay. It will make our costs of doing business lower.
Because it's now becoming a more cashless society now, right?
And also make us easier to access to fund. There are digital, financial institution, the digital bank. They can even offer a quick, kind of loan to them, and the P2P financing. And going through the digital money, there's Bank Negara come up with it. I don't know how the policy is going to be, but it will definitely help the SMEs. But that is only towards the so-called urban SMEs. But the rural one, they're still struggling to understand how to do it. So that we have to categorize it, how we're going to help them. But I think going through having this digital money, somehow or other, it will definitely help overall to the SMEs.
Okay, now, Doctor, just very quickly before we go for a break, do you think digital currencies can help SMEs reduce cross-border transaction costs or perhaps even improve financial inclusion? Just very, very quickly.
Definitely it will, because now you have to transfer in US dollar for that matter. Many of these cross-border trade or even e-commerce. So US dollar, you have to exchange US dollar and the rate is unstable, and you go to exchange bank, you lose in the exchange. This one directly. We have this ASEAN connectivity now, digital money. So you accept your just one exchange rate, making sense.
Right. I agree. Well, we want to explore AI adoption in SMEs, but hold that thought because we're going to go for a quick break.
Right.
And to our viewers, don't go away because Money Matters will be back shortly. President of SME Association of Malaysia, Dr. Chin Chi Siong, with me right here in the studio. Now, Dr. Chin, artificial intelligence, AI, is undoubtedly transforming industries. Are Malaysian SMEs embracing it fast enough, or are we falling behind in comparison with our regional peers?
I mean, when AI stormed the world, right, at the moment, the whole world are talking about AI transformation. And I think it is also very important that SME have to start looking into it. I think some of them have done that, right? And what have they using it for? Mainly for digital marketing, probably.
Yeah.
You know, AI chatbot to help their operational. And some of them even use into the inventory system. But the issue is not so much of whether you're embracing or not. It's the issue that most of SME don't really understand how could the application, the AI tools that can help them.
Yeah.
That's number one. Number two, I think most of them also worry, how much it will cost me. Right? And I'm in the midst of having a lot of pressure because of the cost of doing business is higher and higher. And should I really look into it? Now, so these are the things that have been bothering them. Right? And doesn't mean they don't want to follow. They would like to do it. And of course, they have been using the simple so-called generative AI to help their running of business operationally. I mean, that part have been utilizing a lot, especially on the generative AI. But to put that AI into helping in their operation, they are still very far behind.
But what are the biggest barriers, though, to AI adoption among SMEs? Is it cost, is it skills, or is it mindset? Which is it?
In fact, it's three of them together.
Okay.
Number one, the first thing you think about, cost, whether cost how much, and whether cost will convert to return on investment. Will it fit the KPI, especially when they are running operation of a profit organization. So come back to mindset as well. Right? Mindset not alone the owners. The owner may think, the entrepreneur may think that it is important for me to transform, to do that. But is your staff ready? You have enough talent to, to go into AI? That is also another question that they always worry about. And besides that, they also have no idea how really AI can help in terms of transforming the operation or bringing better business for them or whatever. To them, it is still a cost. So when it comes to a cost, they are always very cautious.
But for you personally, though, what do you think of AI adoption?
I think we should start looking at it as SMEs, but it's subject to what their business is all about. If they're manufacturing, they should immediately look into how to utilize AI to reduce manpower or to reduce the cost of the running the operation. Because eventually AI will improve the efficiency, will help them, in terms of reducing of the manpower and make their job much more effective, right? But if you are in service business, mainly SMEs are all in service industry. 70-80% are all in service industry, in whatever platform you are. So not many of them will know how to utilize AI to help in terms of their operation. But some of them, yes, like logistic, probably there are some AI element to it. If you are doing 3GP, those third-party kind of logistic transport, all these things, that will definitely, they will implement this if they want to improve their operation.
Right. And as you mentioned earlier, many SMEs point out cash flow as one of their biggest challenges. What structural changes can turn this around?
I think when it comes to cash flow, of course, why so many SME couldn't get extra financing when they need it.
Okay.
Right? So the financial system that we have today is still very much go back to the commercial bank. Even we have a good and also called incentive via SGPP and CGC that they guarantee, but the cost is higher. Right? Even cost is higher is one thing, but the approval process still go back to the traditional commercial bank, their processing, the application, stringent process. So they will find somehow or other they are not qualified to have it because their gearing is too high, right? And what can they do? So I hope that by having, Malaysia is one of the early stage, earliest, the implementation of P2P financing country, which is a very good thing. It helps a lot. But still, the interest rate is very high.
Yeah.
Right? And they are not so flexible. So we hope that government can come in, to a certain extent, giving a more flexible kind of tier-based financing to them. If you take, say, 12 months, are you able to give 12 months with a lower rate? No, normally, you take loan with the banks, you take less period, they charge you higher. You know, but this is what we need. We don't need the 3 year, 5 years. You know, we need a short term. If they can come up with a system, not system like, they come up with an incentive, you know, telling the commercial bank or given some leverage that you can have a short term loan, which is low interest. That will help a lot.
And speaking of access to financing for SMEs, are alternative financing platforms like P2P lending or fintech solutions gaining traction among SMEs?
Yeah,
from your observation?
It will help, definitely help. In fact, currently, if I'm not mistaken, yearly talking about 1 billion kind of fund have been going toward this P2P channel. There are few large P2P companies that have been approved by the SC, which I think is a very good thing. You know, and
it's becoming more regulated now.
It's more regulated. It's definitely regulated, but the issue is whether you regulate or not regulated, the interest rate is still high. And you can't blame that because their risk is higher. Because they are giving your quick fast loan approval and so that's where the problem rise is not so much on that. Problem rise because of the economic situation.
Okay.
Our economy is no good. World global economy is no good. The business no good. They cannot repay back so fast. So that is another issue. I think there are a lot of availability financing facilities in the market for the SMEs for sure, but are they able to access it? There's another issue. Right, of course, with the new e-invoicing implemented, there are many companies would have a chance to get financing easier.
Right, right. Doctor, we're going to go for another break, so hold that thought. To our viewers, once again, don't go away because Money Matters will be back shortly. Thanks for staying with us. President of SME Association of Malaysia, Dr. Chin Chi Siong, with me right here in the studio. Now, Dr. Chin, many SMEs are seeing slower growth now, despite an expanding e-commerce market. In view of this, what is the next realistic growth path for SMEs?
I think go back against to their business categories. If they are doing a lot online, and they are mom and pop shop for them, they should consider moving towards social marketing, using digital marketing, using media, for instance, and then to promote what they have and get a broader market to go. And Malaysia now is the chairman of ASEAN this year, for instance. So we can make use of that, utilizing the relationship now we have to move into other market. Malaysia is a very small market, but you see a lot of foreign company coming in. You can see Chinese, you can see a lot of Indian company coming in. They are probably in different category of business. Chinese will come and do trading. Their manufacturing product is so cheap, and then we couldn't fight them. And they are coming here to even start their restaurant business, F&B, whereby you can see now everywhere you can see Chinese-owned, restaurant that many of Malaysians are falling out. So we have been giving other, foreign investor coming in to rob our market. But that one you can't do anything because Malaysia is a free trade country, and then we have our policy, of course. Then what can we do? We have to look into other market, right? Where we are good at. Malaysian compared to many other entrepreneur, to many other country entrepreneur, is because we have the global mindset. Most Malaysian entrepreneur, we live in English-speaking society when we were young. Then we have, we speak Malay, and you can go Indonesia, right? We know the culture. We understand the religion way of life, and we are very sensitive to Muslim. But in China, they don't. So that is where we are good at. That's where we are capable of compete. So why not we move overseas? But we need so-called some good incentive or even good push by for instance, Matrade to help us to move into other market if we have good product to market. And for many product coming to Malaysia, it's so easy. I think today you can get any product from China, from Taiwan. But can our product go into China that easily? So the non-tariff barrier and probably some kind of restriction, which is in fact is true, that will deter us from moving because it costs money to move into this market.
Right.
And what can we do? Not only we do ourselves, but we also help the help from the government to government relationship. Letting us have an easier channel to do both way of so-called trade. And we have the central bank coming out with the digital money. That is probably one of the ways they can help us, right? Besides, carry on some of these so-called exhibition, business-to-business forum, organize those specifically for our local Malaysia-made product.
And also, how can SMEs, set themselves apart in an increasingly saturated digital marketplace? Can ESG credentials perhaps become a competitive edge?
I think it's
or
very
ESG,
much,
is it too big for SMEs?
In fact, ESG is something that everybody want to know. Especially SME, but they don't know how to do it. But of course, you can start with very easy implementation. Why ESG? The question is, why ESG? Right? ESG is not so much alone for you to embrace or comply with, but it's also a way of life for our next generation. Right? And we can start with small little thing like change our bulb, to solar base, and use some green product in your organization. Like if you're doing catering service, recycled material. So that's for a start. But there is not so much that worry them. The worry is that if I'm a supplier to a multinational companies, if I don't comply certain ESG so-called guideline or ruling by them, we can't get business. I know one of our members came to us. He said that he given the full list of compliances sent to us. Can you help us? Can you find a consultant to help us? Because they have to pay extra money now, but he's doing a cleaning service for a multinational company.
Okay.
Just a cleaner. And they want them to comply. So those are the things that they are confused. I'm doing cleaning service. What to do with ESG?
Right.
So the knowledge is not there. So and we do not know each MNC that they have their own set of rules and of requirements that you have to follow. And that is something that we are very much worried about. Right? And then come to carbon credit. Right? Carbon credit is another big issue. If they really implement it, which I think our Prime Minister is saying that he's going to implement it, I think within 5 to 10 years' time, right? That Malaysia have to be carbon credit positive. Right. So that is where SME was a puzzle. So if I'm having the transportation company, I have 10 lorries, or running around the whole country. Am I burning? Am I need to buy carbon credit to cover my costs? So it becomes another cost to them, and they don't know how. And if you want to go and do a carbon credit scoring, a report assessment, this costs money too, and it's not cheap now. So that is where they all try to ignore it as much as possible, so that, because they don't know.
Right. Well, if that is the case, then how do we address that? How do we tackle that problem?
I think very importantly is, because we have an association, I formed an ESG association 3 years ago, but I'm not running it. There are good people running it because I'm not an ESG consultant. But they are now giving a lot of knowledge sharing.
Right.
They are trying to help to build a platform as well for them to assess their own business category, whether their business operation, are they complying with those certain ESG guideline. Depend on their business, area of their business. Right? So that is where the association can come to help. Secondly, we need also government to at least give some incentive to do a so-called fundamental understanding of ESG courses.
Right.
Because it's just one day course. In fact, you can tell them most of the thing, within the first understanding of ESG. Because this entrepreneur, they do not want to find time to go and pay money to go and listen. But you say, they have some free course, government is doing something with the industry or which ministry, then they may come and sit down there and listen.
Dr. Chin Chi Siong, President of SME Association of Malaysia, thank you once again for taking the time to be with us here on Money Matters. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you very much.
Great. Now, for the past half an hour, you've been with us on Money Matters. If you missed any part of today's show, you can always catch it up on Tonton. I'm Muhammad Amhamdan. Thanks for watching and have a great weekend.